Do not let jealousy hoodwink the spiritual eye. Shuefeng. Man has 6 perception systems: vision, hearing, olfaction, taste, touch, and spiritual perception, through which man can perceive and understand the world around and the matter that transcends time and space. The fault with any perception system can render us incapable of completely understanding the real situation around us and in the universe. In another word, if we have lost vision, hearing, olfaction, taste, touch, or spiritual perception, then our consciousness cannot truly reflect the objective world. If our eyes are hoodwinked, we have lost our vision, and we can no longer see the infinitely colorful world. If our souls are hoodwinked, our spiritual perception is lost, and we can no longer distinguish between right and wrong, truth and falsehood, and good and evil. And we cannot see the non-material world, and even worse, we can no longer see the greatest creator. If we cannot see anything in the material world, it proves that our naked eyes have gone wrong, are blind, closed, or hoodwinked. If we cannot see anything in the non-material world, it shows that something has gone wrong with our spiritual eyes, which are either blind, closed, or hoodwinked. Everyone has spiritual eyes. Man is equipped with this program. Everyone has spiritual perception. The only difference is the sensitivity. The differences between the ignorant person, the laity, the mortal, the sage, and the celestial being lie mainly in the differences in spiritual perception. The more retarded one is in spiritual perception, the more closely he inclines toward an ignorant person. The more sensitive one is, the more closely he inclines toward a celestial being. To open the spiritual eyes and restore the spiritual perception is the main means by which we move toward the higher order of life through self-cultivation and self-refinery. How can we open our spiritual eyes? The teachings of Jesus Christ and Buddha are the talisman to open the spiritual eyes, and the greatest creator, revelation, wisdom, and unconventional thinking, note. They are chapters of Chanyuan corpus, are the stepping stones to open the spiritual eyes. How can we restore our spiritual perception? Spiritual perception is itself like a mirror, which does not need us to add anything to it. We need only be diligent in wiping the dust off it. Where is the dust? What is dust? How can we wipe off the dust? What has hoodwinked our spiritual eyes? If our 6 senses are not clean, it will be difficult to open our spiritual eyes. The 6 senses refer to eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. That our 6 senses are not clean means that we have evil in our mind, which prevents us from seeing what we should have seen but allows us to see what we should not have seen, which prevents us from hearing what we should have heard but allows us to hear what we should not have heard, and which prevents from contemplating what we should think over but allows us to contemplate what we should not have thought over. Thus, Buddha warns us to maintain a correct way of seeing, hearing, and thinking. Why is there evil in our mind? Buddha tells us that it is caused by 5 toxins. What are 5 toxins? Greed, anger, infatuation, slander, and suspicion. The Chinese idiom addiction to 5 toxins is understood by some as eating, drinking, whoring, gambling, and smoking, and by some as cheating, hoodwinking, swindling, abduction, and theft. In fact, the 5 toxins should refer to greed, anger, infatuation, slander, and suspicion. The 5 toxins are the dust that should be wiped off frequently. Here I would like to add another toxin, jealousy, which also needs to be wiped off frequently. What is jealousy? Jealousy is the inexplicable, indignant resentment and feeling of taboo arising from within as a result of one's failure to obtain what others are in possession of. Why is jealousy also a toxin? Because jealousy can cause the distortion and abnormality of soul. Because of jealousy, one will create trouble out of nothing, disturb harmony and peace, create friction, contradictions and wars, sow discord among people, and injure life for no reason at all. Jealousy will make one ferocious, will bring about bad temper induced by anger, will make one do insensible things. In a word, jealousy will hoodwink people's spiritual eyes and distort the real nature of matter, and lead them astray and lead them to evil. Take myself as an example. Shuefeng has become the target of many people's anger, jealousy, and hostility simply because he has said he is the person with the highest wisdom, the greatest man in the history, the messenger of the greatest creator, and the incarnation of Jesus Christ and Buddha. As a result, they make themselves the enemy of Shui Feng. Why should they do this? The deepest root for this is jealousy. Because of jealousy, they won't listen to what Shui Feng has to say, and even if they listen to him, they don't do so with a correct attitude, but with a heart of evil. Because they listen with a heart of evil, they fail to see the whole forest because of a few trees. Many women have been attracted to Shui Feng. The love between people should be something sincere, kind, and beautiful, but this has also become the causes for many people's angers. Many people are thus simmering with inexplicable, overwhelming indignation. What are the causes? It is because of jealousy. The bright universe is overcast with dense dark clouds. The peaceful world is thus turned into a gloomy mess. Because of jealousy, the smooth life is filled with twists and turns. Because of jealousy, the pure soul is defiled. You can now believe that the building of life genuine is the best way of self-refinery and self-cultivation. I have created a lot of steep mountains and tortuous rivers. If you have swum across these rivers and scaled these mountains, you will see beautiful flowers in front of you. If you cannot scale these mountains and cross these rivers, you will not be able to enjoy the picturesque scenery beyond, and you can only stay where you are and cannot move forward in transmigration. Then will you still be jealous? Please wipe off the dust of jealousy regular, otherwise, it will be difficult to open the spiritual eyes and restore the spiritual perception. Don't let jealousy hoodwink the spiritual eyes.